It was an important win for Boro against Man City this week. 3 points, took Boro in the top half of the table and really got things moving again. I know that Gareth Southgate impressed on the players that performances really hadn't been up to scratch, results haven't been as good as they could have been, but there's certainly been a pulling together before the Man City game, a determination really to concentrate on their football rather than anything else, and we saw the dividends of that. They're not quite where they need to be yet. I think everybody would agree with that, but in general terms it was a positive performance. They did have to do quite a bit of defending. We saw some brilliant goalkeeping from Ross Turnbull, arguably his best performance of the season. Good team effort though in general, defended as well as they could. The midfield was a lot stronger for a change, and we got another goal from Alves. So yeah, all round it's got to be a pleasing performance. Made up for the Chelsea game, put that well behind them, I would think, and everything's moving along nicely now. Got to keep it going. Maybe the biggest thing was the fact that Afonso Alves stepped forward to take the penalty, put it away superbly, and scored twice in 2 games. And really, Gareth Southgate did say that once he got one, he probably would get a few, and potentially that's going to happen. Linked up very well with Tuncay as well. I thought that the Turk had another good game, considering that it was only his second game back after injury, second game in 5 days, and he ran himself in the ground. He was really on dying legs at the end of the game, but still kept going, and of course knocked the ball across the goal for Gary O'Neill to get the second goal, clinching goal in injury time. A lot of people would gain benefits from that. Another one was Julio Arca, of course, who came off the bench for the last 15 minutes. I wasn't sure at the time whether it was a sensible thing to do. Didier Degas had done very well, covered a lot of ground and was still going strong. But at the end of the day, if you look back on it, Arca got 15 minutes valuable match practice under his belt, and that's another step to him getting his feet back into the squad. I don't think that Arca will start a game for a couple of weeks, but certainly the only way to get him match fit is to bring him on, and that's what we got. Overall, the midfield, I thought, was a lot better than it's been in general. Ali Adia tried to get involved very heavily in the early stages. He went on quite a few runs, didn't always have an end product, but it was a step in the right direction for him. The 2 midfielders, central midfielders, worked well together. Stuart Downing still not operating fully on with all guns firing, but he does work hard. He does come back. He does probably do a lot more work defensively than he's done for a long time, and so there is an end product. Overall, the middle 4, a lot to be pleased about, and when you've got them playing well, the team's got every chance of winning. Ironically, we're now in a situation where all the expectation is on Boro again for the West Ham match. We had this against West Brom, probably the first game this season where everybody expected them to win. I'm sure the bookies took a lot of money against West Brom. Again, the same thing's going to happen against West Ham. Having beaten Man City, which we all thought was a difficult game, beat them reasonably well in the end. We're now going into the West Ham game where every guy in the stadium will be expecting a win. Boro don't always operate too well with this sort of level of expectation on the shoulders, but if you look at it, really, it is a game they should win. Have a great record against West Ham here in recent years. It all went wrong last year when Parker got that late winner for West Ham. That was it was out of sequence, that result, and if Boro to get back on track, they've really just got to play as they did against Man City, step up a little bit. Things not going well for the Hammers at the moment, 4 consecutive defeats. The last 2 obviously against Man United and Arsenal, games they might not have been expected to win anyway. But before that they were beaten at home to Bolton Wanderers by 3-1, and as the Wanderers are in the bottom 3 at the moment, that was a really bad result. Things haven't gone too well for Gianfranco Zola since he took over. Everybody likes him as a man and hopes he does well, but he hasn't really stamped much impact on them. I think one of the problems at the moment is the Hammers are going through a horrendous run of injuries. another couple of injuries this week. Maybe Parker will be back to face Boro, and he'll certainly strengthen their midfield if he does. But they do have key personnel missing. They've got a few defenders out, they've got a couple of midfielders out, and of course they've got injuries up front. Dean Ashton, a long-term casualty. So they've had to mix and match a little bit and make do, and it hasn't been working for them. They'll come here thinking, well, if we're going to stop this run, it's got to happen at Middlesbrough. So they'll come like a wounded tiger, I would think, and treat this game as a cup final. It means that Boro will probably find it's a tougher game than they might anticipate, certainly than the fans might anticipate. As a result of that, Boro got to dig deep and make sure they work hard and not think they've just got to turn up and win it. I'm sure they won't do that, but sometimes there's a little 0.5% in your play missing with a game you're expected to win. The big clubs don't do it, but Boro have a habit over the years of having done it, so this is something that Southgate can work on, make sure the players go out there believing they can win it. I don't think there'll be much in the way of changes. There doesn't need to be. Back five did really well. Pogatet's return starting to make a big impact. Midfield, well, certainly deserve another chance after what they did against Man City, and we all want to see Tuncay and Alves develop the partnership. Alves chasing a third consecutive game with a goal. It would be great if he could do it. It would be nice to see Tuncay get back with a goal, and potentially this is a game that Boro can do very, very well in, but they have to want to do it.